went to the gym, and then I was like, it's beautiful outside. So I decided to
So
pack
nice.
on the roller skates and just like go
Ooh.
blading around for like 45 minutes. But
Ooh.
it is hot.
I haven't strapped on a pair of roller skates in a long time.
Yeah. It's good
That's
stuff.
nice. Yeah, it is nice. I haven't,
I got like a hilly kind of like park path that's like, like wider than a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it's pretty smooth and kind of hilly. So you get like some stuff where you got to work hard to go up and then you get to cruise down. It was all
Okay.
fun.
Do you, now let me ask you, what type of, whatchamacallit are we talking about? Rollerblades, are we talking inline? Are we talking the side-by-side?
Oh, inline. Yeah.
I bet rollerblades have changed since I was a kid. Inline.
I just have a pair of like K2s.
Okay.
I don't know. I found them on Amazon. They're like $100.
Oh, they all kind of look like hockey skates now, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a little more cushion and stuff like that. They're not rock hard like a pair of hockey skates.
Yeah.
Man, I made these like cold peanut noodles.
Okay.
Like a
Thai thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With just like all kinds of vegetables and mushrooms and carrots and bell peppers and cucumbers and chicken. Man, stuff's delicious in the summer.
Okay. Nice. I have no idea what we're having for. We do those like Hello Fresh or Chef's Plates or whatever. We do those, so it's a nice little variety. So if we pick something out in the morning and we just rock with it every night.
Do you do the thing that you cancel it every once in a while so they give you like free months and stuff?
Dude, of course. I play these companies like a fiddle. 1 month will be Chef's Plate, next month will be Hello Fresh, and then you just keep canceling and rotating, and they get progressively more and more desperate.
I have so many free boxes of Factor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you get the Factor partnership for YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. How does it taste? Is it actually good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I saw they popped up in my inbox, but I don't know if a deal was able to be done or anything like that. I haven't seen anything.
They're really good. They're really high protein, but they also are really high in fat. Like it's definitely like a keto thing.
Yeah.
Where it might be like 60 grams of fat in one of the meals, which is a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had high fat diets before and it didn't really seem to affect me in any negative way, so I'm down with it.
Just
I've done a
like
keto diet for a little bit too. Yeah, definitely.
They're tasty. They're smaller than you'd think, though.
Okay, that's good to know. I feel like a lot of these pre-made meal kits can be a little small.
I think that's how they get away with having so much fat with so few calories.
Yes, yeah.
It might be like a 500-calorie meal, but it's like a chicken breast, like 4 pieces of broccoli, and then like some sauce or whatever.
Yeah. And the sauce is probably 90% butter.
Yeah. They're tasty though. They let you pick all the stuff you want. I never got the smoothies or anything.
Okay. I didn't know they even did smoothies. That's interesting.
Yeah. You effectively get like a code, and then you like go onto the website and like type in the code, and then it becomes more or less free.
Okay.
And then you get to like pick the meals that you want.
Wait, why do you say more or less free? Do you have to pay a little bit?
No, I don't think you had. I mean, you might have to. I think depending on which ones you pick, like if you
because they have like some premium ones.
Yeah, if you get like premium ones, it charges you like $6 or something like that.
I don't care how much money I make. I will never take the premium options in any of those meal things.
Yeah, you want the lobster bisque. It's like an additional $10 a plate or whatever.
Whew, too rich for my blood.
Yeah, not a millionaire. Welcome back, Deric.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, welcome back, brother.
Good to be back.
I got like 2 bites left at dinner.
I'm
trying to catch up today.
Oh, you're doing that return from vacation catch up. Feel behind about everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How many episodes behind of Shop Sounds are you?
Well, they don't go that often. Like they go every other week at best.
Okay.
Although the 3 Splinters one, I don't think I've listened in at least 10 weeks.
No, I meant editing. I thought you edited.
Oh yeah. I'm editing on them. They were supposed to go on Monday, but or Sunday or Monday. I can't remember which one I was going between things. And they ended up, like, Jason got the day mixed up or something, and they canceled and haven't rescheduled yet.
Like, he said he was traveling like crazy. Like was like in Europe, back here for a day, and then back to Europe.
Oh,
I think he said for like 2 months he was going to spend all of like 10 days at home or something like that.
Wow, crazy.
Couldn't do that.
Have you guys tried carbide tip jigsaw blades?
No.
Interesting.
I didn't know they made it.
Yeah, I know I talked about it before, but I'm slowly, I think, going to transition over all my tools at home to jigsaws, or jigsaws on the brain, to DeWalt tools. So I need a jigsaw for a project I'm working on. So I'm like, okay, I'll get the DeWalt one because then.
Do you want mine? I can mail it to you.
Which one do you have?
DeWalt barrel grip, 20 volt.
Oh, maybe. Oh no, I don't like the barrel grip. I like the D-shaped one.
But thank you. I was gonna say they got a few different ones.
I'm sure I could probably just ask DeWalt too, but I feel like F it at this point. I'd rather just not have to worry about it and just pay for the damn thing.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The only jigsaw blades I've ever bought in my life was a multi-pack from Home Depot. It's probably like the Diablo brand or whatever it was.
I'm right there with you 100% of the time, but I was like, maybe I should see. I'm just looking through jigsaw blades, and I'm like, oh, Bosch has a carbide tipped blade for laminate. So I was like, that might be good for what I'm doing.
I bought them once, and I got lucky and went into Lowe's, and they had that Spider brand one on the back wall in the clearance section. The little like 10 packs of them for like 99 cents. Okay. And I just bought like 3 or 4 with like varying, efficiencies or whatever to them. So I've never had to buy another one since. But
I think this actually be good podcast material.
Yeah,
talk
true.
about jigsaws.
True.
I feel it's a very underrated tool.
Did you get the before we go live? Did you get the 2 new patrons that need to be called out? The new top level patrons we got.
I only got Bill Burkle.
Yeah. Oh, I think that dude just came back. I think that's all that was.
Okay. That's what I thought.
I'll double check real quick.
That dude back in action.
Well then.
Oh, hey, he's there. He's in the live chat. What's up, that dude?
What up, that dude?
In a bit.
Yeah. So I think I'm ready to rock. If you guys are ready to rock,
let's effing do this.
Oh, you want the thing? Sorry.
I just didn't want to hit it at the same time you did.
I was off in my own little world.
Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
I don't care how long it is.
Or you're trying to make eye contact with the person.
Maybe you're looking at it from the wrong angle.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
If I'm going to put money into this, it's going to be great. And I guarantee it.
Get it. Welcome to Off the Cut, episode 168 for Tuesday. Damn it.
Uh-oh. I already messed it up.
I'm 20 seconds in and I already messed it up. Wednesday, June 11th, 2025.
That's right. We're off cadence this week.
Put it on me.
Well, this is because Deric is back, baby.
That's
Deric,
right.
welcome back, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hey, I had a conversation with one of our good friends, Jonathan Katz-Moses, earlier this afternoon, actually.
Who's that? I've never heard that name before.
He is a professional pool player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway, he was telling me about, he had this dream. And he was like, hey, buddy, I had this dream. I can't do that the whole time. And he was like, I want to come up with a woodworking store that's for woodworkers by woodworkers. And the whole concept is that everything that's in his store is also in his shop. Meaning,
wait.
Go ahead.
You mean they wouldn't just go and find like a bunch of cheap crap from Temu and then mark it up like crazy that's just going to fall apart on you so you can use it?
Right.
But that would be
that's the idea.
But that's how you make the most money.
No.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, let me hear this crazy plan of his.
Yeah. So Jonathan believes that you should put people before profits.
Oh, okay.
And so part of his dream was that, people would go online, probably online, maybe to like kmtools.com. We're spitballing it here.
That's a catchy name. I like it.
Yeah, you like it. And a portion of all of the proceeds would go directly towards the Katz Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund.
Mm-hmm. And what would that do?
I think the idea is that it gets tools and resources into the hands of folks who need it most. I thought it was a pretty good idea. But at the end, I was like, what would make it even better? And he was like, what's that? I said, once you start this kmtools.com train, if every single month you gave away a $50 gift card to our patrons over on patreon.com/offthecut-podcast, he said, I think I can do that. So it was in that phone call this afternoon that if you actually go over to kmtools.com, you can see that Jonathan, from about 2 o'clock this afternoon until it's about 7 o'clock now, in 5 hours, Jonathan came up with tons and tons of products he developed on his own or with makers that we all know.
God damn, that guy works quick.
5 hours. Right.
He used to be one of Santa's elves, right? Like, that explains it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. See, whenever you talk to Jonathan, he can't keep his ideas secret. Have you noticed that? He always is, all right, I got to show you this thing I'm working on. He was showing me some stuff, and this is something that's not, he's talked about this in public before.
Okay.
I won't give a lot of details about it, but it's a sharpening jig for like chisels and stuff like that.
Oh, beautiful. I could use that.
Right, because you just buy new ones.
Yes.
If you've ever tried to sharpen chisels, you know that like all of these sharpening jigs are just real finicky and just a pain in the ass to the point where you use it the first time you buy it. And then you're like, I'm not using this again.
Yeah.
So he was, like chatting me up about this whole thing. And the whole time I'm just like, yeah, this is going to be one of those things I buy and then I never use again. But he showed it to me and like how it worked. It's so elegant in its simplicity.
I need it.
So like the first thing, you put a chisel in, and now is it 90 degrees on the jig? No one knows. With the way his works,
Okay.
Instantly.
Okay.
It's got all kinds of crazy features.
I'm gonna pre-order one. Day one.
And his his famous stop block.
Yeah, of course.
There's a stop block pro. Coming out. Yeah.
Taking a page out of Apple's book.
Yeah.
You get them hooked on the original, and then you shove the pro at them.
And it's everything that people are like, okay, love the KM Tool stop block, but I wish it had ... This one does.
Okay.
So I can't tell you when these are going to come out, the price point, anything like that, but they're really cool. Super cool.
I dig it.
Yeah. Woo. What was I going to say? That's the end of, that was an extended ad read, but genuinely interested about it.
The ad read often bleeds into just us talking about something interesting that Jonathan's currently doing. So, yeah.
It's because he also like shares so much about like the business when you talk to him. It's very interesting to see struggles that you might be having in your day-to-day thing. You're like, oh, somebody who's also working at a much larger scale, and you would view them as being significantly more successful than myself. You're like, oh, they're going through things as well. So it's kind of nice to know that other people are going through challenges as well, But
I don't think there's a job in the world that's truly easy. And I think the higher you go, the more complicated it gets. Even though it might look glamorous from the outside, it's still a beast that you have to keep feeding.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think a perfect example of that is like, in the corporate world or whatever, you'll sit in the office and you'll be like, what does the guy in that corner office actually do?
Mm-hmm.
You're not, he or she isn't fulfilling orders or digging ditches or making supply runs or this and that.
Yes.
They're just kind of like overseeing things. And you're like, that's got to be such a cushy job.
Yeah.
I bet it's a lot harder than people think.
Again, I think, there's always a little bit of jealousy, I think, aimed towards the guy in the corner office too, right? It's like, oh,
Right.
I could do his job, no problem. But it's like,
could you?
Yeah, there's often more to it than meets the eye. So careful what you wish for, everybody.
I know one thing that people have been wishing for.
What's that?
Is that we're having another BYOC call with our patrons.
Yeah.
We
got that in the books.
Heard the buzz, heard the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, right?
Beautiful.
The 17th. Does that work for you guys?
I think so.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Next week, Tuesday, June 17th at around 8:15 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have our next BYOC call.
Oh, yeah.
For all of our top tier patrons. And speaking of top tier patrons, we have a brand new top tier patron that will get access to that BYOC call. It's Bill Burkle over at WTB Woodworking.
What's up, Bill? Thank you for supporting the podcast.
Hell yeah, brother.
And I believe we have a returning top tier patron as well.
Our good buddy Dadu.
Maker of the websites. The only other Canadian that I know of that listens to this podcast.
How's your website going, by the way? I haven't visited it.
I mean, functionally, it's great. That dude did an amazing job. I've not done a very good job of upkeeping it. So it's
dude, this looks fantastic.
It looks really good. It's amazing. Just don't look too closely at when it was last updated, like the last time I posted anything. But I do need to populate it with some graphics. I've been thinking a lot about the course idea, and I spent a good couple hours chatting with ChatGPT, trying to create like an outline for it. And I think I kind of honed in on what I'm going to do.
Oh,
yeah.
Tell me about this.
So I think I'm going to package it as like I can't remember what the exact wording was that I settled on, but like introduction to console modding. So be like basics of electrical circuits, basics of battery technology, and basics of micro soldering. And then it'll be 3 example projects, which like easy, medium, and hard.
All right. I'm already telling you, we haven't talked about this.
Yeah.
Whatever price you have in your head, it's not enough.
Okay. I was thinking somewhere in that like kind of $50 to $80 range.
No.
That was really?
This should be like $200 to $300.
Okay. Interesting.
Really? Don't you think, Deric? Like if you're doing 3 projects and you're covering all of this, like, okay, like the basics of electrical circuits, that could be easy if it was high level. 30 to 40 minute module on that.
Oh, pretty easily. I think I'll try and I'm going to try and focus it down towards the things you would need to know for console modding.
Okay.
So I'd probably try and cram it into like 20, 30 minutes or something like that. Okay. But still, there's going to be a fair bit that goes into just that one module.
So you got like 3 major points that you're making across this course, right?
I think so. Yeah, there'll also be like a section where I'll talk about like tools that you're going to want to have on hand and supplies and stuff like that. So that could almost be a module unto itself. But
so what if you did like all 3 of the tentpole ideas from it as individual minor courses at like say $75 a piece, but then offer the extended the master class with everything you need to know to do said project or whatever at the same price minus maybe like 25% or something like that.
I did think about doing that, honestly, but I'm not sure that there's the concept. I want to have the sales pitch I want to make to my audience is like, if you've ever been confused watching one of my videos, like do this course.
Yeah.
And I don't want
deeper dive.
This is it.
This is the thing. Like this is one complete product that you can just buy and hop into. I don't want to be like, if you're confused about the electrical part, you can do this course. If you're confused about that part, you can.
That's fair. No, yeah, that's fair. I was thinking more from like if somebody's on your website and they're looking at it and they see all these courses that are $75 a piece, and then they see these 3 major courses that are $75 a piece, and then they can get the one all-in-one that's like say 150 or 175 or something like that. Oh, that's the better deal. I'm going to go for that.
For sure. I know what you're saying, and appreciate that. I want to I do think I'll build on it in the future. Like, I do think I will do more bundles. Like, I might do like a console specific courses in the future, like everything you need to know about the Nintendo 64. And then that can be like a bundled in edition, like extra $25 gets you access to this other course where I go more in depth on one specific console or something like that.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
One thing I would consider, not saying like, dude, you have to do it this way, but like, I wonder if there's a way to structure the course in like that the first project is like super, super, super easy. So like you kind of learn a topic or two.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay.
Then you learn one or two more kind of
I like that.
building topics. And then you kind of take what you've learned in the first section and apply it towards the second project. So the projects kind of start off pretty easy, which is like somebody getting an easy win. Maybe the first project is you want to swap out your USB-A port for a USB-C.
Sure.
Low barrier of entry, moderately easy. But
I was thinking, sorry to cut you off. I was actually even thinking easier than that for the easy one. I was going to do like, here's like swapping out parts, not even like any soldering, just like undoing screws and stuff like that. Swapping out parts, you can kind of talk about like, how to be gentle with the thing, what tools you're going to need, et cetera, et cetera. Then you get into the medium one, and then maybe the soldering iron comes out.
Yeah. I like the idea of like
tying.
Because if I were doing your course, right, I'm entering into this thinking like, dude, I have never modded a console. I don't even know where to begin, but it's super interesting to me.
Yeah.
How can you pull me into that being like, okay, easy win?
Yeah.
I want to now push it a little further.
Well, exactly. And that's kind of how I learned too. So I would like to kind of have that gradual ramping up. But so to your point, like I think the idea of, because I was going to do 3 modules and then 3 courses, or three modules and then 3 examples. But what you're saying is do 1 module, 1 project, 1 module, 1 project, right? And then have them be related to each other. And I think that's like, here's kind of the theory, here's the application, and then we're going to move on to theory, application.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's at least an idea to ponder, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because then if you find that there's tons and tons of questions about a certain topic or whatever, you could then add individual videos as like supplemental videos for those topics.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't derail someone's understanding of previous stuff.
I do like it. I want it to be something that I can build out in the future, and then maybe in the future I add a module for 3D modeling and 3D printing and etc. So
I think it's a good idea is like, this is a home base, is like, this is the console modders course
101. Again, like I get emails from people a lot, like it has been increasingly frequently. One I get basically verbatim is, what can I study in school to do what you do? And the unfortunate answer I have for most people is there's nothing in school that's kind of like this, because it's a bunch of different disciplines kind of mixed together, and it's like low level parts of a bunch of different disciplines too. So
console modding university.
Like,
in all seriousness.
100%.
If you're getting people asking these questions and it's not available, be the person that makes it available.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of filling that hole in the market. So that's my plan.
One thing to consider is, if you have a way to look it up, collect these emails from people that are sending it to you. And once the course is done, do a soft launch with those folks. Perhaps even give it to them for free.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And just get feedback of like, are there any things that don't make sense, or working through hiccups with real people? Not just you on your computer going through the customer facing thing, because you know what you're doing.
I think that's a great idea.
And that would make people super, super loyal too.
True.
They're like, oh my God, he heard me, right?
Yeah.
Now your brain is just ripping on this whole course thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've definitely got some ideas.
I know.
So
So
that's
now you're kind of like hoping you don't get a sponsor.
Honestly, dude, yeah.
So that you can just like take a month or two off.
Yeah.
And not off, but a month or two away from YouTube.
For sure. Yeah.
To do it.
Well, I'm going to France in July. I don't know if we've talked about that. Going on a vacation for 2 weeks, 2 and a bit. So I'm thinking I got some long flights in front of me. Great time to kind of just sit there with my laptop and bang away at a script and try and get it all structured, ready to go.
I would highly encourage you to leverage ChatGPT, not to write the whole thing, but like, I want to cover this, I want to cover this, I want to cover this, I want to cover this. Here are some of the main points. Type that into ChatGPT, and it might generate additional points. So like, oh, you should bring this up. You're like, oh, good point.
For sure. And that's what I did. I did it very conversationally. I was like, here's my YouTube channel. Here's my audience. Like, I'm thinking about making a course. Like, what types of things should I include in the course? And it just gave me a bunch of suggestions. And I was like, this one's dumb. This one's dumb.
Right.
This is great. This is awesome. And then I went back and I was like, okay, what would be the logical order to lay this out? And it just kept going back and forth like that, kind of refining down on the idea. It's a great kind of sounding board.
It's effortless brainstorming.
Because I think if I tried to do something like that myself, I almost wouldn't know where to start. When you're looking at like a blank canvas and you're like, what do I,
Oh, so 100%.
It was very helpful for that part. And I highly suggest it to anybody out there who's listening, thinking about doing something similar.
You're literally bouncing your ideas off of a wall that has infinite access to knowledge. So it's filling in the gaps. Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the most recent things I use ChatGPT for, and I don't remember anyone telling me, but it's very possible someone told this to me. So like, by no means am I claiming I came up with this idea. I was buying my cat food from Chewy.com. I think a lot of people are familiar with Chewy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was getting to the checkout and they're like, do you have a discount code? And I was like, I don't. So I went on ChatGPT and I was like, hey, are there any discount codes for Chewy? And it like scours the web and stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, well, we found a lot, but most of them don't work. However, here's like a list or whatever. And I tried the ones they gave me and it didn't work for whatever reason. And I was like, are there any influencer codes out there? And it was like, hold on, give me a second. I'm going to look up YouTube videos and Instagram videos and stuff like that. Dude, I found like, apparently they're Chewy influencers.
Yeah, I believe that.
Dog influencers.
Yes, I believe that 100%.
Got 5% off. I didn't know who this person was, but if they get credit for it, I don't give a damn.
Heck yeah.
Right? You're getting your 5%.
Yeah.
So use ChatGPT to find coupon codes for websites online.
Oh, that was a new use case that I did not know. I like it. Yeah.
Which made me wonder. Just came up with the idea. If I type in my website, would it find the coupon codes that I give out? That's wild.
I mean, maybe. Huh? If it's in your videos, if it's publicly available, then maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I guess it depends I don't know how up to date, because ChatGPT doesn't have access to the internet, does it? It has like access to a snapshot of the internet from like a year ago or something, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. When it first came out, didn't it only go to like 2020 or something like that?
Something like that. But maybe if you pay for the premium one, you might get more access.
I think Gemini has access to the internet now.
Yeah, I should say when I said ChatGPT earlier, I think I actually used Google Gemini.
I feel like ChatGPT is just going to be like somebody says, oh, I need a Kleenex.
100%. Q-tip.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's saying cotton swab. Like,
yeah.
You psychopath.
Yeah.
Oh. But hey, before the show, we were talking about buying some tools and stuff like that. And we got up on a conversation that I think not a lot of people talk about. And it's jigsaws.
Jiggy wiggies. So
Zach, why are you buying a new jigsaw?
I have a decent jigsaw that I keep at the shop.
Okay.
It's actually the good one. I think I'm going to buy a second of it. So it's the DeWalt jigsaw, and then the DeWalt 20-volt XR, kind of like their high-end jigsaw. And here at home, I have a crappy Craftsman one that I've used like 2 or 3 times and hated, because it was like, Craftsman does a weird thing where they have a good tool that's basically just a rebranded version of a DeWalt tool.
Right.
And then they have one that sits below that, which is usually a rebranded like Black & Decker tool or something like that. So I have that lower end one, and I was just hating my life using it.
It's a Craftsman brushless something or other.
No, that's the good one. The brushless is the good one. I have the brushed one.
Oh.
And it's a little rough around the edges, so I figured I'd treat myself to a new jigsaw.
Okay. So which one you're going for, the XR?
Yeah, I think the DeWalt XR, the one with the D style grip, not the barrel one. I don't like the barrel ones for some reason.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, see, that's before the show. I was like, hey, I'll just send you mine because I'll get a barrel grip one.
Yeah.
I like the barrel grip.
I think I could get into the barrel grip. What I don't like is that it has an on-off switch and not a variable trigger.
That's very, very valid.
I don't know why they do that. Like, why the barrel grip one is just on-off.
Because the way I do it is it's like a thumb thing. So you like flick your thumb forward, and then I hold it down. But what I'll do is I'll actually get my like thumb and my index finger, and I'm basically holding like the plate of the jigsaw.
Yeah.
So I'm almost like riding my fingers along the material, and I feel so much closer to it. I can't imagine having like a trigger while I'm doing that.
True. Yeah. I guess you could be like, you could have your pinky at the back squeezing a trigger or something like that, but that'd be very weird.
Yeah.
But
just goes to show you grow into the tools you have.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That's true. There's like a wheel though, where you can set it from like 1 to 6, and then it also has like an auto thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's kind of interesting.
It's got a wheel on the back, so you can adjust the speed, and then obviously has like the blade throw lever.
Yeah,
you can say like how much like scoopage action is going on with it.
Do you ever adjust that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
I keep it on 0, which means it's perfectly straight up and down 99% of the time, because it gives you the cleanest cut.
Yeah.
But if I'm like rough cutting something, oh dude,
chopping at it.
Oh, you're just hacking it. Like if I'm breaking down like some rough lumber or whatever. Oh yeah, put it on 3 all day, man.
I keep it as vertical as possible until I get impatient with the cut, and then I slam it all the way to 3.
That's fair. That's fair. Hey, that jigsaw might be on sale for like a Father's Day thing.
I checked. I actually already took advantage of the Home Depot DeWalt Father's Day thing. I bought like a set of batteries and got a free. You'll like this as a recent homeowner.
Flashlight?
No, a set of pruning shears. The 20-volt pruning shears.
Ooh.
It can cut a branch up to 1.5 inches thick, just like snip it in. Yeah. It's very, very satisfying. So I was out there trimming some hedges and stuff like that with it.
No, am I crazy? I just use my the recip saw for that.
This is way faster.
Try that again, Deric.
The recip.
I use my multi-tool, and I stand there like an idiot, just going.
And the whole thing shakes.
It's shaking me off the ladder, and it never cuts to the branch. No, I need to get a recip saw. I don't have one.
Yeah, good recip saw is nice to have. I've never had a cordless recip saw before, so might add that to my list of tools.
Corded Bosch kind of guy?
A corded Milwaukee. The original, the Sawzall. Again, like Kleenex and everything. Yeah. Like I feel like most people don't say recip saw, they say Sawzall.
Is it so faded that it's like pink and silver?
No, it's like it's the opposite. It's like covered in dirt that it's just slowly going like a brown color.
Oh, like maroon.
Yeah, because it's been dropped on job site floors so many times.
Still going though.
Well, yeah.
So we had gotten to be, Jesus, we had talked about jigsaws before the show.
Yes.
And then Zach, you brought up have you guys ever gotten carbide tipped jigsaw blades?
Yeah. So I was looking, and Bosch has a set of carbide jigsaw blades, and have you ever used carbide recip saw blades?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, do yourself a favor. Throw out anything that is not carbide tipped and go get the carbide tipped ones.
So what's the advantage here with carbide tip?
They
it's just harder, right?
It's harder, it's sharper, and they last a million times longer. You know how a recip saw blade, you use it like 2 times and you're like, this thing is just burning its way through the wood instead of cutting?
Yeah.
I cut through a 12-inch thick steel I-beam with a carbide recip saw blade.
Wait, a 12-inch thick
12-inch thick
steel I-beam.
Yes.
Wow.
What?
Yes.
And the blade was fine.
And the blade was fine. I kept using it for other stuff after that. That's how good the carbide tooth ones are.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, the jigsaw blades that I have are high carbon steel.
Yeah. They're expensive as all get out. Like I think the carbide Diablo blades are like $30 each or $40 each or something like that.
For a recip or jigsaw?
For a recip. I don't know about the jigsaw. That's why I still got to research that. But yeah, they're expensive. But they last like 10 times longer, so it is actually worth it.
The jigsaw ones are like 13 for a 4-pack.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's
for
cheap.
jigsaw.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll report back next week, maybe.
I just spent. What did I spend? I just spent $38 on 5 jigsaw blades.
Ooh, that's pricey.
But I got. So I was cutting some rough lumber, and I was like, the way it was a 10-foot long board, so I couldn't like do it on the bandsaw because I would have needed a boatload of in-feed and out-feed support. But I couldn't do it on the miter saw because I would like laid out my pieces roughly so that I couldn't have just made like a straight cut across. So I was like, I need to kind of like work my way around some rough pieces. And it was 8-quarter lumber, so it was like 2 1/4 inches thick because my lumber supplier is super generous on their cuts. But a typical jigsaw blade doesn't cut that deep. So I had to get a 6-inch long.
Oh, I've seen those. Those things weird me out. I do not trust those.
Dude, I got them. It works really well.
Does it?
Was $38 for 5 of them.
Okay. I would have assumed that it would just like you'd be like blade deflection city at that point.
No. So I actually don't know who makes them. All I know is that inside of like the box that has my jigsaw, it's the Festool Carvex something or other. They have like pictures of like all the accessories and stuff on the inside of the box. You've probably seen that with I guess you don't know, you just have the vac. You don't
the vac does have
you probably have with the RO90 sander though. It has like the pictures of the accessories inside the box or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a massive jigsaw blade. So I got the Carvex jigsaw blade, which they're actually thicker and wider. So they like don't bend.
That's nice.
So they stay like really, really straight up. But
that's nice.
$38 for 5 of them.
Ooh. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. But hey, it's a business write-off, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's 145 millimeters. But then, so we got talking about jigsaw blades too.
Yes.
And I think jigsaw blades are one of the things that no one actually like actively goes out and buys new blades. You buy one pack once in your life and you just make it work. Like for you, what's the sign you're like, I gotta change the blade on this one?
When it's like starts smoking when you're trying to push it through a piece of wood. When you're pushing with all your might on the jigsaw to just like get like a 1/2-inch cut.
Or you pull it out and it's like the blade is charred and it's bent.
Yes, yes. I mean, I think jigsaw blades are probably one of the most abused tools or blades in the woodworking industry.
I've shopped for jigsaws more than I've shopped for jigsaw blades.
They're just around. Like they're just there somehow.
Yeah.
And you've probably bought one, maybe two jigsaws in your life.
I bought 3, and I went shopping for blades once.
Everybody goes and buys one like multi-pack thing that you're like, oh, it's got a bimetal, it's got a metal embedded wood. This will cover me for the next 45 years of my life.
I don't think I've ever tried to use a jigsaw on metal before. I'm sure it works, but yeah.
Oh no, it works super well. They're like super fine teeth.
Yeah. I've never been brave enough to try it. It always feels wrong to me. In my head, like jigsaw is just for wood.
Yeah. It's too floppy.
Yeah.
So I think, Deric, you were talking about that you went into Lowe's and got like a Spider brand.
Yeah, first time I went in, I found them in the back of Lowe's, Spider. They were on discount for like 99 cents for a pack of like, I think 15, and I bought 3 or 4 with like varying sizes, so I've never had to get them again.
When you got that pack, did they have the one that I think they called like the exoskeleton blade?
Oh, it's like hollow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's one of those in there too.
It works super well.
Really?
I've never even seen that.
Oh, because I guess it disperses heat better or something, right?
And I don't know the science behind that.
Or clears chips better, maybe?
Oh, maybe that, yeah.
Oh,
I think
look at that.
Spider is basically Lowe's version of like a Diablo thing.
Absolutely.
That's like their premium cutting blades, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't like something about Spider feels cheap to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Their logo looks a little cheap or something like that.
Yeah. I feel the same way about Diablo though. I feel like they're about on the same level.
Yeah.
In too hard.
Yeah.
You ever see those circular saw blades that Diablo has that says you can cut through like 1/2-inch thick sheet metal with one of these blades?
Whoa.
I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to break my wrist bringing my circular saw to a thing of sheet metal. Like, get the hell out of here.
I have a special Milwaukee saw that's made for, it's like a circular saw for cutting metal.
Huh. Is it just like geared differently?
I would assume it spins slower, and it's got like, it's fully enclosed so that all the little metal chips are caught, and then it's got like a little catch that you empty out. But I've only ever used it for cutting like metal siding and stuff like that. Never anything thicker than, a 32nd or whatever.
Okay.
Not a sponsored statement, but ever since I bought the CMT blades from KM Tools,
KMTools.com.
Yeah, I haven't gone back. I've loved those things. Those things are so much better than like the Diablos and the Spiders, and they're not that much more expensive. I think only like a few dollars or something more.
Dude, I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I've been going through a bunch of like walnut and maple with this project I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've used the CMT ripping blade for everything, including cross cuts, because I'm too lazy to take it out. It works so well.
Yeah, like the Diablos would always burn on maple. I don't hardly ever burn on maple now that I got the CMT blades.
No. Which, by the way, camtools.com, CMT, Jonathan sells a CMT multi-pack of jigsaw blades. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Really?
How much is it? You're asking? $19.99 for 16.
16 blades?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Well, in like 30 years when I need new ones, I don't know where I'm going.
Damn,
camtools.com, baby.
I kind of want them like now. I don't want to wait a week or whatever to get them. Damn.
Just buy them. It's $19.
I know. I really should. I think I might.
Hey, you get 10% off of international orders over $300, by the way, Zach.
Oh, tempting.
Do they still make jigsaws that are not T-shanks? Like,
I don't think so.
Or the reciprocating saw blades that aren't that the same,
whatever the technology
whatever that is called. Yeah.
I think if there's any manufacturers out there that don't make a quick change blade in their tool, burns at the stake.
Setting themselves up for failure. That or
Straight to
like
jail.
saw blades. Like all the saw blades seem to use the same arbor size. I've never really checked
most
that before I
part,
bought
yeah.
a blade.
I got burned on one thing once.
All right.
It was a miter saw, I think, and I needed to get like a spacer. The arbor was actually smaller than the standard size, which was
Ooh.
annoying. Yeah.
It wasn't a 5/8 inch or whatever.
Maybe, yeah, something like that.
I think 5/8 is the common one.
Okay, it was
so, yeah.
maybe it was half then.
I've seen it on angle grinders where like sometimes it's like a 7/8 arbor. Sometimes it's like a 3/4 or a 1 inch arbor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of times the discs will have like a little like metal spacer guide that comes with it.
Yeah, but isn't that? I guess it's not that little spacer has always been very disconcerting to me. It's like, is that little spacer the only thing between me and this blade going completely haywire and then shooting off into the sunset?
Dude, I think angle grinders might be scarier than routers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had a fiber disc explode on you?
No, but
It's
I'm
terrifying.
scared of it.
It's terrifying.
So how did it explode? Were you trying to grind with it instead of cut with it?
Probably. I don't remember what it was. This was like got to be a decade plus ago that this happened to me. I just remember it being terrifying. Like 1 second you're cutting and then the next second it's just gone.
Did you probably put like lateral pressure on it?
Probably, if I had to guess, yeah.
Because my understanding, you're not supposed to put lateral pressure on it.
No, of course not. I mean, look at it. It's like paper thin.
Right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go straight down with it.
Yeah.
And no deflection. Like,
yes.
Because they make like the really thick, like 1/4 inch thick ones. Those I think you can grind with.
Yeah, there's the ones that are like, it's kind of halfway between a grinding disc and a cutting disc.
But by and large, you should probably just use a flap disc, I would assume.
For grinding?
Yeah.
Yeah, or a grinding specific disc, like one of those like super thick ones. But I've found that flap discs usually cut better than grinding disc.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Go figure. But flap discs run out quick. That's my beef with them.
Yeah, it's true. Dude, I got like a pack of like 30 of those back in the day because I saw them. It was like an Amazon Lightning deal.
Yeah.
I think it was like $7. And I was like, probably use these. I mean, you need to grind down some bolts or some,
Yeah, totally. I paid like $30-$40 for flap discs and still being happy about it. So I think you got a good deal there.
One of the things that I noticed recently, well, and it's because I was actually watching one of Suman's videos, and then it kind of reminded me of you and I were talking about this a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was testing like air quality around tools.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I bought that like Air Night air quality thingy from Amazon.
Okay. Air Night.
Just because I was curious. And I put it up in my shop for like a week, right?
Okay.
Dude, you would be surprised how quickly that thing will go from like basically 0 particulate in the air to it has like this smiley face rating on it.
Yeah.
It's like a spectrum. I think it has like 6 or 8 different like spectrums. Dude, you can get like 3/4 of the way up just from doing like, I don't know, a dozen cuts on your table saw.
That doesn't surprise me.
And I'm like, dude, this is kind of scary.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm sure you do what every single woodworker in the world does. It's like you wear a mask while you're cutting. And then the second you turn off the saw, off goes the mask. And it's like, well, the air is still filled with dust from that last cut. So
yeah. I mean, wasn't
the camera?
You what, Deric?
I said turn off the saw. I turn off the camera.
Yeah.
That's when it comes off.
True.
But it was just something like I was using the router and it was like throwing stuff all over the place. I'm like, yeah, this is probably pretty bad. And then I looked over at the air quality meter and like it didn't really move all that much. And I was like, okay, well, not
probably
too bad.
bigger chunks, I guess, with the router.
That's what I'm thinking. And then I went to go sand, right? And so I have my sander hooked up to a dust extractor. So like it's, hypothetically getting all the dust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, no.
Yeah.
It was kicking up dust in like a matter of a minute. It was already reading like several hundred particulate per cubic meter or whatever like that. And I was like, oh.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. And it stayed up there for a while too.
Interesting.
So it's one of those things where I'm not trying to like do this as like a scare the pants off of myself.
Yeah.
But it's more so like
just for your own. It's good to know, right?
Right.
Because I feel like there's a lot you can do to kind of fool yourself.
Uh-huh.
Where you're like, I'm sure it's fine. And then when you're confronted with the data and you see it's like, oh, it's actually not fine. I don't know. I feel like it just guides you towards making better choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking like when I'm sanding, I'll probably wear a respirator now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely made me want to consider buying one of those like air filter thingies to see if that actually makes any significant difference.
Yeah, I'm skeptical whether or not those things actually make a real difference because they need to like move a lot of air in order to properly cure or properly purify the space, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
Like there's that Powermatic one, but it's like $600-700 or whatever. It's like this giant fan. I like the idea of that one because you can take the filter off and like you like wash it or something like that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's not a consumable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I want to pay $600 just to test to see if it actually works.
I'm sure you can probably get the old influencer discount on one of those.
Or does it become a YouTube video?
Yeah. So, it's... Oh, DeWalt makes a air cleaning system, just in case you wanted to know. Some of these are, you think it would make for a good video, but sometimes it's surprisingly hard to test. Like I did that video where I made the air quality meter.
Yeah.
And I set it up in my shop and I was like trying to do the testing for it. And it's like, I would do like 10 cuts and the meter would go up a little bit. And I'd be like, oh, well, that's only like a very small increase. And then I would walk away for 30 minutes and then it'd go like off the charts.
It takes a while.
Like, it takes a while. And I was like...
But was it you walking around kicking shit up?
Exactly. There's so many confounding variables. And you think in your head that the testing procedure is going to be so easy. But like, I had this plan where I was going to like test my miter saw with dust extraction, without dust extraction, with a boot on it that like made it better to collect air. And then I realized I was like, well, each one of these tests is going to be at least an hour-long process.
Right.
Because you have to wait for it to register the dust in the air, and then you have to wait for it to settle back to nothing. And so it's like some of these testing videos seem like they would be fun in theory, but the actual production of them is very boring and laborious.
That's my thing. Like, I don't know how I would make this interesting. And like, I'm not a scientist. I don't think I could make a lot of like the scientific method on this and like make it really like airtight and everything like that. And
I don't think it fits in with your audience either. Like as far as like what you've put out in the past, it doesn't really align with your structure so far.
Yeah, right. Unless I built the thing.
Yeah.
And like in the video, the reason like while you're building it, you kind of cut to some clips of you testing this and this and that, and this is what kicks up the whole thing. And that's kind of the reason behind why you're building this thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's also like, okay, let's be honest. You build this air scrubber thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to remember to turn it on? Are you going to remember to change the filter? Are you going to like keep up with it?
I think the only way that I would, and it's kind of the same thing, I kind of feel this way with dust collection too for a lot of tools, is if it's not integrated into a single switch where it turns on with the tool, then I'm probably not going to use it nearly as much as I should.
Right.
Yeah, again, like
set it up.
If I
can set it up. Oh, I'll let you go.
Sorry. I have a remote on my table saw for turning on
the thing.
But I really only ever use it if I'm going to make multiple cuts. Like if I'm just there for a single cut, like, you're going to rip a piece of plywood down to 10 inches. I'm not grabbing the remote, turning on the air sucker, turning on the saw, doing my cut, turning it off. I'm just going to do the cut.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I feel the same way about, even the drum sander and stuff like that, and the planer. Yeah.
The planer, dude, you're making all kinds of chips.
Well, the planer, yeah, okay. The planer, I would probably do it just to contain the mess, but.
What were you gonna say, Deric?
Oh, I was gonna say, I think I would, if I could set it up so that it, like, my lights are on a smart switch in the shop. I have the shop lights. I tell it, turn on the shop lights. My shop lights come on. If I could tie it in with that so that it came on with my shop lights to purify the air, and then kept going for an additional, say, hour after the shop lights go off.
Interesting.
That might be a way to go. But then, like, if you're filming and you want it off, then you got to, like, manually turn it off.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare for filming, unfortunately.
Yeah. Because if I wasn't doing any voiceover stuff, I wouldn't care if you just had a because I got headphones in anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I have to make sure, I gotta turn that thing off, then I probably would just leave it off. Or in my head, I'd be like, well, I'm only gonna turn it on during really dusty things, and then you're kind of back to the same plot, right? Like, I don't know.
Or at the very least, if I would have it maybe come on automatically when I shut off the shop lights for an hour after I'm done.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're picking up the residual or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
but this is all under the illusion that these things actually work.
Yeah.
True.
I'm very skeptical because, like, I know Festool came out with one, and what they do is they put one in this, like, 2 foot by 2 foot sealed box, throw all sorts of particulate and smoke in that side, and turn on. It's like, okay, yeah, but put it in a garage. Put it in a 2-car garage.
Yeah, they always do that. It's like the sealed box, and it's the tiniest box in the world. It's like, yeah, it's impressive that it's getting everything out of the air, but that's also like such a
4 foot space.
Yeah, such a wildly unrealistic space. Unless you want to purify your closet's air, it's like that doesn't really do you any good.
I'm sure that is able to recirculate the air in there probably 30, 40 times over in those 20 seconds it's running.
Yeah.
All right, going full mad scientist. What if you just set up a couple of, like, fans in your shop, like ground level, mid level, up level, that pushed air like really hard through your shop, right? And so, like, if you wanted to, like, purify the air in your shop, you turn on those fans and it start whipping up the air around your shop, and then you have the purifier somewhere in your shop that's collecting as that's happening. So you have circulation, and then you have the purifier running as well, cleaning up that air.
Might help, but needs testing, right?
Yeah.
And would you actually do it?
A great question.
If I'm not in the shop, it's one of those things. Like, I queue it up to go whenever I walk out.
Yeah. Just don't know.
I don't know. Just
honestly, I think one of the things that would probably work the best is if you had some, like, Zach, don't you have, like, an exhaust fan?
I do. I have what they call a whole house fan, which is like a big 14-inch fan.
Yeah.
That's just, like, mounted at just below the roof line. And it moves something crazy. I can't remember what it is, but I think it would, in theory, would suck all the air out of the shop in like 5 minutes or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And do you use it, like, if you, like, are, like, spraying paint or whatever?
Exactly. You use spray paint, and you don't want the whole shop to smell like spray paint for the next 5 hours. Just flick on the fan.
It works pretty well.
Yeah, it works pretty well. It's like with spray paint and stuff like that, it definitely gets rid of the lion's share of it, but there's still, like, a lingering spray paint smell, even if you run it for like 20 minutes. So
the other thing this meter has, did you look up that Air Night thing?
Yeah.
It also has CO2, which I'm not that concerned about because I don't plan on lighting anything on fire or, whatever. But it also has a formaldehyde and a VOC, so volatile organic compound.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about these finishes that they're like, they're low VOC. I want to set this like next to me when I'm putting finish on something and see if it sparks or like.
Well, I think you might want to talk to Sman and John about this, but part of the problem with VOCs is basically anything that smells has VOCs. So, for instance, I think they were testing it and like ketchup would set off the VOC meter and like, table vinegar and stuff like that. It's like, well, is that stuff bad for you or is it just like, just in pungent. The air? Yeah. So just because something has a VOC doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad for you. I think
because all odor, whenever you're smelling something, all that is that's the particulate matter of that object in the air. Yes. So whenever you smell somebody that's gone to the bathroom, you're actually that stuff's going in your nose.
Oh, 100%.
In a microscopic fashion.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. So you're telling me when someone passes gas, it's little baby turds floating around in the.
That's exactly right.
And it makes its way through your pants, which is impressive.
Sure.
Perhaps even 2 layers of garment.
Hopefully 2 layers.
Hopefully 2 layers, yeah.
So you're telling me if I just make a big stinker next to this thing, it'll set it off?
Maybe, yeah.
I think so.
I gotta try this.
There you
go. The one where they fart, ... for science.
For science, yeah, I like it.
That's your thumbnail right there, like your backside right next to the testing unit.
Oh. This would be a good video. I feel like this would potentially go viral.
I mean, I do like the testing. Emotionally, the testing videos really appeal to me. It's just the production of them that's not as fun as you might think.
Boring that would be to make that.
Well, that's the thing. Like you're just bring out a thing, bring out a paint, get a roller, spread on a couple layers, wait an hour. Okay, come back in, record. And the problem I ran into too was I was trying to do this and I was like, what do I do? Do I like point a camera at this thing for an hour? And then I have an hour of 4K footage, which is like 60 gigabytes of data for each test.
Time lapse it.
But then you're like, okay, but what? I don't know. Yeah. Time lapse would probably be the way to go. But a lot of like high end cameras, like I don't know if I could time lapse with my DSLR the same way I could with like a GoPro or something like that.
Oh yeah, I would time lapse it with a GoPro. I wouldn't do it with because you don't need it to be
super
true.
True.
But the thing that would kill me is like if you go through all these steps of testing everything and then you get to like the 3rd round of testing on something and you miss or you realize, oh, I forgot to do X, Y, and Z on the first 2 or just X, for example.
Yeah, right. For sure.
It's like, do I start all over or do I just exempt it from the rest from here on out?
And really, to be scientific about it, you should probably be doing multiple runs of each test in case there's in case there's like some weird, somebody runs a dryer in the next room and that kicks up a bunch of dust or something.
Yeah, you get weird anomalies and stuff like that. But I think the important thing if you did a video like that would be to come out and be like, listen.
Yeah.
This is not. Yeah, I'm not a scientist. This is not the scientific method. I'm testing this in ways that make sense to me. And there are holes, there are gaps in this, like just pointing that out.
Yeah,
right. Not
this
claiming
makes sense
this
in my shop
research. Right.
Yeah,
but it would be very interesting to go buy all of these air filtration things and see if it actually makes a difference. Or like John from Biscuitry pointed out, like, what if you bought a house fan and compared it to how that would work? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I like it. It's definitely some interesting questions that could be answered there.
I actually made one of those like DIY things with like a house box fan and air filters.
Okay.
And I have no like numerical quantitative measurements from it, but I will tell you that you'd pull those filters out and they would be just littered with dust. So
I mean, it's doing something at the very least if it's picking up all that dust, right?
I mean, I think you probably have to do more than like that, like $15 box fan. You probably got to get one that's got a little more guts to it, right?
What did you do? Just a box fan, 2 box fans, and a filter sandwich between them?
I did one box fan, and with just basically just like a filter or two on the back side of it.
Okay, yeah.
And it worked pretty well. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was easy enough. I put a little switch on the bottom of it, so I just reached up and went boop to like turn it on and off. But
you know. It's got to be better than nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be better than nothing is how a lot of products start.
True.
True. Gotta be better than nothing.
I often wonder how much these brands really like test. You know, like everybody's marketing claim is 50% better, 80% less this. And it's like, how much of that is actually based on science?
Ooh.
Because nobody's testing, right? Like what?
And it's a bias test because they're testing their own product. So they're purposely like weaving around their known flaws.
Yeah, for sure. So.
Oh yeah, they do look like you're using a vacuum, right? I don't know. Well, on the miter saw, it's 80% less dust, but on a router, it's like 30% less dust.
Yeah, exactly.
we're gonna just exclude that data and only do the 80% less dust.
Yeah.
Or they test it on their router and their table saws and not anybody else's, but then they're using their other vacuums and stuff.
Yeah. That's why we need people like Suman in the world to test all these things for us.
So I haven't talked to Suman a little bit. Is he working on another video?
I think he's busy being a dad, but I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Should have him on.
Yeah, we should have him on. Yeah.
He can tell us all about how to do dad things.
Yeah.
Maybe he tested the air purifier testing machine that he made on his dirty diapers now.
Oh.
Maybe.
Suman's like talks to his wife. He's like, I can't change these diapers.
Too many VOCs.
I need a low VOC child. Well, speaking of low VOC child, I think it's time for these guys to head over to the Off the Cut After Show, also known as the bonus episode.
Mm-hmm. Now with 50% less VOCs.
With 50% less VOCs.
Yeah. Only when you use our special filter, though.
Yes. Hasn't come out yet.
In the after show.
Yeah.
It's only available in the after show. We'll tell you where to go get it in the after show. Well, we're going to head over to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast and hang out for that after show and really get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, next week, Tuesday, June 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Okay. At around 8:15 p.m., we're going to have our monthly BYOC, the Bring Your Own Camera call, where we hang out with our top tier patrons and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So,
yeah.
You can go over to Patreon and sign up for that. And if not, that's cool. We'll be back next week.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We promise we won't talk about you in the BYOC.
I don't make that promise.
Deric, now they know us to talk about them. See everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
I want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons. Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey. Josh at Sawdust Bills. Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop. Goblin Spanker.
You can't say that anymore.
Building Creative. And Dadu's debit card did work.
Bingo bango, you're done.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I follow you.
You should stop.
All right, I'm going to give you one for Bill Burkle. All right. Bill Burkle at WTB Woodworking. Don't forget to spend your Burkle bucks while you're over there.
Billy Burkle.
They got like a rewards program thing, and Keith is like, I don't know what it is, but I call it Burkle bucks.
All right, titles.
I've got the one where they get jiggy with it, or the one where they fart ... for science.
I had the one where they fart for science.
Yeah.
The one where they test the air, or the one where they clip coupons with AI.
Oh,
Ooh, Test the Air is pretty good too.
Yeah,
I'm honestly, I'm open to any of them. Doesn't matter to me.
let's can we put fart in a title? Fart for
Sure.
.science. Okay, let's do that one. I
Fart
feel
like
like
a dot for science! Exclamation point. So Dadu said the one where Zach finally paid for his site.
I paid him for a site. How dare he smirch my name like that?
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. What a burn. What a burn. All right, well, I think it's time to grab another seltzer and head over to the after show.
Sounds good. Thanks for tuning in, live stream crew. I'm assuming we're probably going to see most of you guys over on the other side. So
yeah, buddy.